Do you love me? Cause I wanna be your lover and your homie. I need to know, cause I want you, and I wanna be the one that you on to. Like, just toss it right back.
So yeah, I hate to tell you, but good intentions aren't enough. So, is it you or is it me? You're listening to Amani Matthews and Benny, aka Poetic Lee Williams, on Watch Lotus X.
So I believe in like energy, and I believe obviously like frequency, but I believe in like energy that, all right, you know how like we all can know what's going on like on the news, right? Obviously, like that's I'm using this example. Then I also feel like there's this underlining spiritual energy that moves through people where we feel like we're going through something, we're like coming to this realization ourselves, but then like at the same time thousands of other people are coming to that same actual
realization.
Yeah, and it's kind of like something that's not spoken, but it's something that you have to feel. You know what I mean? And like what you said, like just it's like more confirmation to that theory, because I've definitely been feeling that 1000%, and it's just some other people I've been talking to that are like very in tune to themselves have been feeling that too. So like that's what's up. That's what's up. I've been feeling that. I've been feeling like I feel like if every day's you're in the game, and every day is like a new, like how are you aware in that moment? And that's kind of like what we were talking about, like just talking about what I want to get into today with even this topic, because so I'm reading this book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Have you read it?
I ain't read it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. Wait, okay, hold on. No. What's that tone? What's that tone right there?
I mean, like, because the book title itself is like this old school, like, quote that men and women are so different that we're from different planets. So the title itself is self-explanatory, but I haven't read the book myself. But that's the basis of where that quote comes from.
Do you feel like the title is? I don't want to say are you judging the title, judging a book by its cover? No pun intended.
Literally,
like, is that what you're doing?
But I guess I am judging it by its title, but in the sense that I'm not saying like this is what this book about, and I have no idea what the book about. I'm just saying like the title itself has this meaning, like historical meaning, and that is where the book is, angling whatever message is trying to tell you. But that's the angle from where it's coming from. I don't know what the book is. I don't know what the book's about.
Assuming the angle.
That's the assumption that I'm gonna make based off the title of the book. I'm not gonna say I know what it is.
You know what's actually interesting about that is that you're exactly. That's why you need to read the book. That's why you need to read a book. Like, but I'm gonna tell you why.
Sure.
I'm gonna tell you why though, because I think it's from that angle is even where the book is coming from. I think that's why he probably definitely used that title along with just him being creative, and probably who knows, who really knows? We could be from Mars and you could be from Venus. Who really knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, who really knows? But I think even with it being that creative, I think it's like it's this communication, this thought process of how we go about even moving forward with our communication. Like how you move forward with your whole thought process is like an assumption, right? And even that little seed of assumption, because I was doing it earlier, like with my mom, like even that little seed of assumption can lead to other things of assuming, right? And it's like even with him writing that book, it's like, okay, he intended well for it to like, he had a meaning behind it, but however, still it's another perspective was taken where it's like, nah, I can't. Yeah, I ain't really rocking with the name like that. Damn,
all right, so give me your synopsis. I
mean, well, okay, so look, I not even a synopsis. Well, this is why I say, starting right here, good intentions aren't enough. And
Okay.
I was coming across that in the book, and I was like, damn, because that's how I've been feeling. Like, damn, man, I have good intentions, but it's like it's not even enough. And it's like when I didn't mean it that way, it's like it goes that way. It's like you try to not. It's like this overthinking of, okay, how can I get it right? And when I came across that in the book, and about like, then I started, and I just don't go like, okay, this was in the book. I'm gonna look on, see what what else resources online I may see or whatnot. Try to get like definitely some other kind of like thinking on this concept. And let's see, do I even want to read? Don't want to read. Okay, I'll read one part. All right. Falling in love is always
Read it, Esther.
Falling in love is always magical. It feels internal, as if love will last forever. We naively believe that somehow we are exempt from the problems our parents had, free from the odds that love will die, assured that it is meant to be, and that we are destined to live happily ever after. Damn, I'm kind of I butchered that first. All right, but hold on. But as the magic recedes and daily life takes over, it emerges that men continue to expect women to think and react like men, and women expect men to feel and behave like women. Without a clear awareness of our differences, we do not take the time to understand and respect each other. We become demanding, resentful, judgmental, and intolerant. With the best and most loving intentions, love continues to die. Somehow the problems creep in, the resentments build, communication breaks down, mistrust increases, rejection and repression result. The magic of love is lost. And like we begin to ask ourselves, like, what's happening, what's going on, and and it even it's got me, thinking. And the whole point of even like this of us talking is like no one. I didn't grow up in someone breaking down what a relationship and really communication. Oh, you always hear people say, "Oh, it's about communication. It's always about communication." But what does that really even mean? You know what I'm saying? Like it's so. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So like it's got me to a point now where after relationships and just situationships too, where okay, you don't want to keep going in the cycle. And it's like we say that to ourselves, oh, the next thing, I don't want to do this and do this, but how are we really taking time? It's like it's a challenging thing because there is no manual to getting it right, So
No.
And because there's no manual, it's like we have to learn hands-on experience. And then that's when it becomes painful. That's when it becomes just irritating, grinding your gears. And so that's what got me into this. Good intentions are enough, because and the reason I felt like that too is because I've been in relationships where I feel like, okay, I'm doing something just right. And it was taken the opposite way. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty sure you've been kind of like in that same situation. And when I looked this up online, I found this right here. Meaning is found in awareness of the moment. And when we get too far from the moment, we start to lose our effectiveness. What you feel about that?
So you hear him mowing the lawn. I just want you to
you
try
good
to block him out. He messing up my train of thought. But a lot of what life is and how we struggle is not being in the present. And what it means to be present right now. And even if that's in a conversation with your partner, yes, you have a ideal idea of what the outcome of that conversation you want. But I feel like if you're not right there and there,
oh, y'all had to roar it up.
Y'all disrespectful today, man.
Roar it up. Take
God,
five.
and that's on the other street. Like, God, he loud. But it's just like if you're not right there with your partner, and you might have something that you want to express for such to happen, but then they might throw a curveball at you, and they have something they want to express that is just like, okay, this that you want over here, you can't even look at that right now because your partner just said something else
Some
that
BS,
is
some bullshit.
something else, and you're like, okay, so we need to talk about that.
Yeah, okay, so that is my see, okay, that right there is my issue I'm trying to work on. Is those curveballs. Like you can know the road could be straight, and then suddenly it's like out of nowhere the road it starts turning. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. And I'm gonna give you a prime example. It's like today, like even with my mom, I'm like, even slight communication like this with her. She asked me yesterday, can I was I gonna come by and see her in the morning? And I said not really. No, I would no not really, but no not really. I said I wasn't thinking about it. She was like, oh, okay. I was gonna ask if you can go to the store. And I was like, oh, I can go to the store for you.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, no, don't worry about it. And I was like, well, text me what you need from the store. She's like, all right. So this morning I come to the crib and I'm like, so what you need from the store? She's like, oh, well, you don't have to go to the store because I really wanted you to come before you got here. So I could, because I was gonna get some almond milk for my cereal, and I was like, well, like, let me know. Like, I had no problem. Stop. She's like, well, it sounded from your tone that you didn't want to do it. And I was like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like those misses like that, Kurt. Like, it's like you gotta just be straightforward and say what's up. Or in a situation like when you having a conversation with somebody, you talking about A, and then here comes in a whole nother, like, all right, so tell me this. I feel like this is like, I don't know, I feel like women, y'all are masterful at that. I feel like, and I don't know.
Talking about many different things at once.
Nah, I feel like, and I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like we could be having a conversation and something could come up that has nothing to do with that particular point.
Okay.
Why does that happen?
I can speak on that. Why does
and
I try not to do that. I personally try not to do that. I like the word keyword because it comes up. I try, not making any promises. It does happen, but it comes up. It's just like, it's kind of like you're talking about something, you're on topic, and then a light bulb goes off, and it's like, oh, that's important too. No. Maybe I should just. I'm just telling you how this works.
All right, cool. I'm learning.
Up, you're like, oh, I want to interject that too. When that happens to me, I really have to pause, and I'll literally say, like, hold on, like I'm thinking, and I'm like, is that important right now? Is there some way that this is connected to what we're talking about? If it is, I'll bring it up and I think there's a connection. But if it's not, I'm like, all right, later. We got to talk about this later. But it comes up. Like, our brain is wired to think about so many different things at a given time. It's annoying, actually. But that's what happens. It's just like a thought like pops up. Like, oh, well, why are we talking about this? Such and such happened. Nah, you don't think it's connected. It might be connected, and it might not be.
That's when you start to get distracted. I call them words of distraction.
Distractors, yeah.
Yes, distractors. I guess that's a more appropriate way to say that. But
sorry, that's the nursing part coming out.
Hey, do it. You're trying to cure my grammar. But that's like, those distractors, like those distractors. Now, I know that, man. I got some good distractor stories. Let me see. What's a good distractor story? Man, I don't know. I can't think of one good one right now. But if one comes to me, I'm definitely gonna say. But I'm not a fan of distracted words because, and especially like in relationships I've been, it's like I could be bringing up one point, and then it's like now I'm getting.
Then you end up somewhere else.
Yeah, and then I'm the one wrong because I'm gonna have to address that point that you brought up that may be inaccurate, and I have to break that down, detail it, why it's inaccurate, and it's a waste of time.
Well, and like with anything, communication takes two, right? And I've had to grow personally in my communication and how I communicate. And it's a struggle. It's not easy. And I have to work at it all the time with all of my relationships. And it's not
Yeah.
just in intimate relationships. And like you with your mom, I have to be mindful of my communication with my mother as
Yeah.
well. But it's also, it stems from us as children not having that foundation on how to effectively communicate outside of like parent and child.
Yeah. Hmm.
So it's just like we're not taught that. We got a whole curriculum that we hit in school and communication is not part of it. And it should be. It should be.
Yeah. It should, it should be a course every year. It should be a
It,
course
it
every
should,
year.
because it grows over time. You grow over time,
Hell
and how
yeah.
I've had to grow is just like you and your partner going back to being in a partnership. You
Mm-hmm.
two truly do have to learn how to communicate, and whether that's on your own or together, like you got to get books, podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
articles, whatever, or small tidbits of information of how to just improve on little things. And that little thing for me is not bringing in extra ideas or things that have happened that our conversation might trigger. And I'm like, if it's not connected, leave it over there.
Mm.
So like if I know I'm going to have like an important conversation with my partner, I literally have a pen and piece of paper with it.
Mm.
Because I have to jot down certain things that, okay, is this connected? Okay, boom. Let's see if I can talk about this with my partner in this conversation.
Yeah.
If it's not connected, boom, it's not connected, but I still have it on a piece of paper. So it's like, okay, later maybe we can bring this up, maybe we can talk about it. But
Damn,
it's just like I have to
that's
organize that
lit.
because
That's
my
man.
my
I
mind
wouldn't even want
goes
to argue no more. Like, damn, this shit about to get journalist.
basically like I'm
Hell
like, okay,
nah, add that shit you said in there too. Don't try to erase don't try to put all all the explicits that I use.
but it's not even all that. It's like sometimes if I know that there's something bothering me,
Yeah.
I'll write it down ahead of time and bring it to the conversation. Like, yes, I did write about this, but this is things that I want to talk about. And that also helps me staying on track.
Yeah.
Because like curveballs are a two-way street. My partner might say something that's a curveball to me, and I'm just like, whoa, that just threw up the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll also jot down that curveball because you know what, that's important enough to him for him to say that. So maybe we should
I
discuss
like
that
that.
too.
No, I'm still in. I love that one because you know what that does? It just goes back to what our first point was being in the moment. And with you writing it down, you really have to be in the moment because you have to from thought to paper, it has to be analyzed in some kind of format, right?
Yep.
And no, I love that. I love that right there. I like that. I like that because too many times we get taken out of the moment. We're trying to assume. We're trying to we start to let our emotions and our ego, which I'm learning a lot how the ego sneaks up in so many sneaky ways, like so many sneaky ways. Like it's gonna respond first sometimes more than the heart does.
Let me tell you. And most recently in a conversation with my partner, like my ego and emotion came up, and when how it manifests and how it shows is that I don't want to talk. That's how my ego shows up. Like, okay, nah, I just don't want to talk, and I'll just shut down. And it came up recently, and it's part of like, well, I don't even know how to respond. And instead of me just shutting down and not responding, I just have to say, I don't know how to respond right now. Instead of it leaving it open and he not knowing what I'm thinking, and I could be thinking something I just don't want to say. I literally just don't know what to say. And we
do you
both
not know
do this.
That's interesting. All right, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna ask you after you say.
But we both do this, like when we think we've gotten to the end of our conversation, we'll ask each other. He'll ask me, "Do you have anything else that you'd like to say about this?"
True.
And if I do, I'll do. But if I don't, I'll say no, and I'll ask him the same question. So it kind of wraps up, that conversation. But that doesn't mean that we can't go back into that conversation. We're just saying right now we don't have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real because that grinds my gears. Like that shit right there does piss me off. If I'm having a conversation and if I'm talking, and you have nothing else to reply with, like
it happens sometimes, and it happens. But
then you leave the other person looking like, so am I just wasting my time? Like it's like what the fuck?
And that's where the communication comes in, and that's why I say like I don't know what to say or how to respond, because sometimes I might be overwhelmed with information, overwhelmed with thoughts, and I don't know what to pull out to say. So it's just sometimes I literally just got to sit there and think.
Okay.
That's how it is. I gotta think about it.
And how do you? And you just say to your partner like, "Yo, like, yeah, I can't reply right now."
Yeah, I was like, I can't. I was like, I don't have nothing to. Like, we can pick this back up later, but right now I don't have, anything to say. And sometimes what I'm learning is that sometimes there's not an immediate solution to an issue. Sometimes that's going to happen, and you just have to be mindful and respectful of what your partner says and how they feel about the situation. You may not agree with it, you may not like it, but that's how they feel. And if there's nothing that either you two can do at that time, you really have to truly come from a place of respect that this is my partner and I have to respect what they're saying. I'm not saying you don't have to say anything. I'm just saying that
you got to say, all right, you got to be able to say, because that silence and that just, okay, look, walking away like it hasn't been solved yet.
Oh, no,
shit got to be solved. Yeah.
You can't just walk away. You have to say something before you walk away.
You got to say, all right, like, look here. I don't have a response right now. I'm not sure how I'm feeling what you're saying. And it's tough too, because on the other side, like I've been in a situation where someone said, I'm analyzing it, I'm processing it right now. I'm like, man, I want a response though right now. You know what I'm saying? So I know for myself, it's like a challenge, because you can like pour your heart, or you can be like dead ass and trying to explain your point, or trying to really, you may be coming from a very vulnerable place, or you may be coming from whatever you could be talking about, like a very passionate, sensitive place, and not having a response back is it can make you that it can build anxiety in that, because you're like,
that's true.
Like, am I getting it right?
I hear you. But the thing, I don't think there's like I feel like that anxiety grows about, am I getting it right? I feel like as long as you are respectful in your conversation with your partner, you getting it right, getting it wrong, that should be put to the side. And especially in conversations that can be very passionate, that can be vulnerable. The partner, let's say my partner was having a very vulnerable, very passionate, they said what they had to say, but I didn't know what to say back. And in addition to saying like, hey, I don't know what to say or how to respond right now, but I want to thank you and acknowledging you for being transparent and for being vulnerable with me right now. I think that's another part of communication, is acknowledging what your partner is saying. Even if you don't have a response, be like, hey, I acknowledge you for saying what you did. And however, difficult or easy that was for you, especially if it's, something sensitive and they're being transparent, they're being vulnerable, just thank them and acknowledging them for what they said.
Right.
Even if you do not have a response for what they said.
And that just comes with, like, that's just, man, it's like, that's just basic communication though, right? Like if how we're speaking, or if you just somewhere else, like speaking with someone else, and they open up to you, it's like, oh wow, all right, well, and a lot of times people are not used to maybe someone opening up and being vulnerable, so they don't even know how to respond, or like how to receive that type of information. Like, what the hell, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially as men, because as men, it's a different type of age like shift happening. You know, we grew up, we couldn't really
Mm-hmm.
express ourselves like that, you know, like our
Yeah.
emotions to a core of like letting somebody really see how sensitive we can be. So
Mm-hmm.
now with this shift happening where we want to open up more, we like, nah, like we we done trying to act hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We be like we getting our feelings too. We getting our emotions too. Like
Yeah.
we be, you know, we be hurt. And as
Definitely.
women, I don't even know what that's like to sometimes see that, because on one end you like you want it, but then when you get it now, are
It's
you
a shocker. It's a
yeah.
shocker when you get it. It's because you know that's what you want from your partner in relationships, and sometimes when you get that, you just like, I wasn't expecting that,
Yeah.
right? Um, and again, that might be something for you, for myself, as a woman, to process. Like, that was a lot, and it
Yeah.
might be a lot because it might be, you know, your partner's breaking point. Like, they've never been that vulnerable with you
Hmm.
before, and they just like spit it all out, and it just blows up, and it's just like, no, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
And sometimes it happens, and you still gotta be mindful of how you react. I'm never gonna
Mm.
tell my partner like, man up, you shouldn't let this affect you like that.
Hmm.
You know, like, everyone is entitled to how they feel. At the end
Mm.
of the day, man, woman, whomever, they're entitled to how they feel, and it's never okay for another person to be like, no, you shouldn't feel that way, especially if it's a man expressing his feelings, you know, might cry, like, let him cry, but don't say, you know, make him feel any less than for doing that.
Why not?
Why should
Yeah.
you make your man feel less than for crying?
Yeah.
I cry, I'm a crier, I
Yeah.
cry all the time, so
Yeah.
who am I to judge? If he cry, he cries, so
Yeah.
what? At least he crying and not, you know, internalizing it, and then it forms an anger.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want an angry partner.
Nah, 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 nah. Yeah, you gotta.
I
I'm
don't.
glad you said it like that. No, I'm glad you said it like that, because it's. I mean, on one end, like I can. I'm like, damn. I want, you know, you as a man, you want to be able to lay your shield and your sword down and fall into your woman's, like even fall into your woman's, like just into
Mm-hmm.
her world, you know. And at the same time, it's fighting off being like fighting off like that nervousness of showing that, you know, because you can be hurt from different situations, and now it's like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I don't want to show that, or if I do show this, how is this going to be taken? And even going to like with the main topic
Yeah.
of like good intentions, I'll be open. So like I think for me to really understand and me really learn this lesson, I had to go through the fire and really understand it. And
You sure did.
it's like there was okay, so I there was a breakup I've had and I've had in my past.
Mm-hmm.
And for like for me, I always had this thing of like sometimes uh maybe I can do a lot of self-reflection within myself, and sometimes you know you don't know how people heal through things. So like in the past, I'm thinking I've always had a thing of where like I might leave some flowers at your door. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
look here, like
Like, kind of like a peace
it's
offering.
like a yeah, it's like peace, love, and light. Like I because I care about how the other person heals too. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so it goes into that, but it's also this other thing of thinking like with me in that situation was like once again getting back to the I want to make sure I get this right. You know what I'm saying? Like because you never really know if something's all the way over. You know, you like because the way your heart love
True.
can blind you in a sense. You think, okay, if there is a chance we can get back together, I don't want to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was you doing when we were broken up? Like you was just you were ghost. You didn't say nothing. Like you know what I'm saying? You were, and I was like, and I'm thinking in my head, you know what? I want to make sure our body this with, you know, and it's in that my intentions can be shown even through that you know, even through that point.
went through a breakup.
Yeah, but it wasn't taken that way. It was taken like, yo, you a creep. Like, yo,
Some things you just gotta leave alone. Some things you just gotta leave alone.
Yeah, nah, you do.
And some people you just gotta leave alone because in the same time that you're going through their healing process, so are they in that process. It looks different for everybody. And they potentially that day could not have been a good day for them, and that was just like, the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I think closure is an individual responsibility.
Fact.
Or healing is an individual responsibility. Yeah, it would help if it would make us feel better if that other person was like, I'm sorry, this is what happened, yeah, it would be great. But most times that's not going to happen. And at the end of the day, your closure or your finishing and healing of whatever that relationship was, that is real personal and it's real individual. And you have to do that work, and you can't do any of that work for that person.
Yeah, that's what.
Even if you do want to, get back, hopefully have a future with that person, you gotta close it out and let it be closed.
That's
because if it's gonna open back up again, it will open back up again, not because you did such steps at the end.
Yeah, that's real.
Unless as long as you never was like disrespectful, like you just gotta leave it alone.
That's real. No, that's real. And that's what I had to like. That moment is when I had to really realize. Okay, you got to focus on you, and you have to really now put in this work and step onto your next chapter. Because it's like, what you just said right there. Closure is a really individual thing, because that allowed closure within myself at that time. For like, oh, you know what? It is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta like focus on your is y'all at this point for a reason. And that's what, and even going to meaning, I found this in meaning rest in appreciation of the moment, and gratitude and awareness, and in relationships. When our awareness is only focused on the future or the past, we lose all connection to the now. We are where we are, where others are, and where the meaning is. We don't appreciate the present. We aren't appreciating the process. When we don't appreciate the present, we aren't appreciating the process. When we aren't grateful for the meaning in our life right now, we aren't honoring ourselves or others. So I wanted to read that because that's what I had to like learn, really, like appreciation when you're talking about like the moment and the meaning, and like understand that reason. And definitely like I know for guys, sometimes even like in the breakup process, you may try to, let me do something good. You know what I'm saying? Like think about the thing with like Offset and Cardi when he came on stage with the flowers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like just even that, for example, like we just have this thing of like, we want to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Like we want to make sure you good.
We want to like repair, and check in,
like,
and make sure that there's still space for me in your future.
Essentially, and it does get to a little bit like that's a lot of it. Sometimes your ego and your pride, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the past is the past. Like and like when y'all healing, when women healing, like y'all gotta, you know what I'm saying? Y'all have to birth into this a whole new woman. And that's what
woman.
Yeah, that's what men have to see sometimes. Like, okay, like we have to go ahead and make that change to evolve into a whole new man too. Because what you said too, like you can't bring them bags into a whole new thing.
You can't. That's my song though, Bag Lady by Eric Badu. That's the song, but you can't. We all got it. We all got different forms of baggage. And I feel like, even if someone is healing, because I'm still in the process of healing, being aware of your baggage, being aware of your triggers, being aware of parts of you that you're still healing. right?
Yeah.
I think that awareness helps you not to project that on anyone else. Right? So in my healing process,
True.
where I'm at that stage that I had to realize it wasn't about me trusting someone else in like a partnership. It was about me trusting myself and trusting that I made a good decision as making that person my partner or entering into a partnership, that I made that choice and it was a good one. And that's where my healing is, and that's where my triggers are, is that can I trust myself? Getting back to that point that I do trust myself, because that was my trauma from my past relationship, that I was made to believe that I couldn't make right decisions, that I was wrong, which leads you to not trust yourself.
Yeah, true. Wow. That's real.
So that's where I'm still healing. It's just like, I can trust myself.
Yeah.
And I can make good decisions for myself. And that I had chose to get into a partnership and I trust him. It wasn't like, that was so personal.
Yeah.
So personal.
I'm feeling that.
Okay. That was him.
Hey, someone was good.
Then he said, hey. He said, hey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have to. You got like that. We just have to just wrap it like that, because what you said, like, no. Real talk. No, real talk. One, what you just said. No, what you said. What you said, as far as like trusting yourself, and it's deeper. Like with you, it's deeper than what you like. Just a basic thing of, oh, I trust myself, but is more what you were saying, like how this thought process is like projecting our whatever anxieties or projecting our fears of, is this going to work out? Like trusting the confidence of this decision that you made, that is real. Because bigger, like that trust, it defines what that trust is. Like people are always talking about, you got to trust yourself, but right there, like knowing that you made the right decision is something that a lot of people we don't even talk about when we're in these relationships. Like, damn, that's a real thing. Like I'm thinking about that. Like that is something that we question our head. Do we make the right decision? But it's like, we're trying to, so all along we're pushing for this hope rather than pushing with confidence.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I think confidence is a big thing. Like hope, yeah, you should always be hopeful. You should always have faith. But part of that faith is just to have confidence in your faith.
Yeah.
Listen, every day I gotta wake up and I say, I choose faith. I choose faith over fear, because that fear will come up and just start chatting in your head like, what about this? What about this? This ain't gonna work.
True.
And I'm like, nah, I got this.
Yeah.
I have faith. All right, I got this. Listen, my name means faith. I have no choice but to have faith.
Let's go.
That's my name.
Hell yeah. Shit, man.